Okay, so everybody be on the side that has the S1 on it. S1.
What are these called again?
Protractors. Okay, the number one thing I ask of you for this is to extend your lines. So I'm going to extend my lines in both directions, and I can go into the next box, no big deal. So this is a worksheet some of us started last week. Now with this worksheet, remember that here is your dot that will go on top of your T. But when some students put their protractors, it's like, wait a minute, Miss O'Malley, none of the two lines go at 0, right? It's kind of like a V. And I'm going to ask you, like, don't be afraid to rotate your paper or rotate your protractor or both. So we're going to rotate this. Yep. This line has to be on the 0. Where is the 0? The 0 is on top of the 4. So here I see the 4. Here I see the 4. That line has to be right on top of it. Right now it is not, so I have to move my protractor, but making sure that this dot is still on the T. So two things have to happen at the same time. The dot on the T, and this line is perfectly on top of the 0 line, which is right there. Then, which numbers do I use? The inside or the outside numbers? Inside. On the back, I think it changes. I don't know. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 132. Now, if you are off by 1 or 2, we're okay. If you say like it's 130 or 135, I'm going to have to disagree. Now, sometimes if you have a wooden pencil, it's not a sharp point, you end up creating longer, thicker lines that throw off your measurement. Lead pencils do work best. You don't have to have a lead pencil. They just work best. Okay? So you don't just copy my answers, but you do it and you see how we got 132. So you start learning. You know what the answer is. So now see why that's our answer. You know it's 132. So now do it. Okay, number 2. What's the first thing I have to do with number 2? Lines. Extend your lines. I was telling second period, I think I'm going to grade you based on how you extend your lines. Well, some kids don't make them straight, which I'm just kind of like, why are your lines not straight? Okay, now, am I just going to put my protractor like this? No, right? I'm going to take the time to rotate my paper. Extend it to the 0. Extend it to 0 here. 0. The T is on this port right here. This is where your T has to go. There's no dot. You can add the dot because some kids want to put it over here. The T's over here. It's like, no. It has to be where that corner is. So here's the corner. Here's a 0. Now I'm going to use the inside numbers and I'm going to count. I start with 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. I don't pass. I'm going to say 60, what? What'd you guys get? 50? 59 is right here.
65.
60? 60. 60 is right here. You're way off.
I have 65.
So, did you put the T on the dot? Is this line on the 0? I'm going to say it's 66. 60 is way off.
66.
Good. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Work faster than I am.
Yeah, I got 66.
Good. Look, if you're using the wrong set of numbers, it's an easy like, oh, I see what I did wrong. I'm not going to do that. Let's go, Santiago. No iPad. Come in. Okay, so I just gave you a plastic film protractor. you're going to take these home and you're going to be using them on your homework tonight, Richard tomorrow, for the rest of the week, maybe into next week, the homework. So these will be used. You take them home. Do not lose it. On your homework tonight, it says to measure it. So you measure it on your homework and then you write down, oh, it's 60 degrees or whatever it is. So it's exactly a copy of the protractors we use in class. So it's exactly the same thing. So please keep it. The only difference is they're not cut straight, so I would not use this as a ruler like we do here. Now we use this to extend our lines. Unfortunately, these are not cut straight. I mean, you can try to cut it straight at home, or you can just use your phone as a straight edge, or two rulers. You know, if you have two pencils, you can make one the ruler, and you can use the other one to make a straight line by using two pencils. At home, yes. So bring this to class, use it for your homework, whatnot. Yes?
Are those the protractors or the ones that you make like perfect circles?
Those are compass, and we will use those in class as well in a couple weeks. All right. Can I have you switch over to this one if you haven't done so? Cruz, the number one reason you got those wrong was because you were using the wrong set of numbers. Okay? On the front side, you're going to use the inside numbers. On the back side, you're going to use both the inside and the outside depending on where the arrow is. If the arrow is on this side, you're going to use the outside numbers. So if the arrow is on the left, you're going to use the outside numbers. Arrow on left, outside. Okay, so number one thing is I'm going to actually extend these lines as well. So I'm going to extend these lines. Some of you have already done this. Extend it. Now, I have to measure 140 degrees. So here's my dot. My dot goes on top of the T. And then here at 0. So on top of the T and then 0. So place your protractor like mine. We're not at the movie theater. We're actually doing it with me. We're not just looking, but we're actually participating. Okay. 0, here it is, and the dot. Now we're going to go to 140. So we're going to go to 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 90, 100, all the way to 140. You're going to put a dot on 140. So here's the dot on 140. Then I lift my protractor and I connect the dot to the little line with my protractor. And this angle measures exactly 140 degrees.
Oh, it's like the first one.
Yes, it's like our notes that we took last week. Yes, it should be. All right, number 2. Again, first thing, I'm going to extend my line, and then I'm going to put my protractor on the dot. Make sure that this line is measured out to 0. Very important that this line is at 0. Then I'm going to go to 65, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. I don't pass 70. Remember the little longer line is the 5. So, some kids last period didn't do this. They didn't think we could. You can put the dot on the top. So if it's easier to put the dot on the top, especially when it's like 65, 62, it's easier to put the dot on the top. You can put the dot on the top. It doesn't always have to be on the inside. You can put the dot on the top. That's fine. Then you connect, and we call this angle 65 degrees. All right, let's keep working on that.